Hey, coin lovers, treasure hunters, and folks who just like money. Have I got a story for you today? Imagine checking your pocket change and finding a penny. Just a plain OL penny. But this one is worth $1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. A single cent, a little copper disc, life-changing money. And what if I told you it could be sitting in your coin jar right now? Today, we're diving deep into the 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. Why is it so valuable? What makes it special? And how can you cash in on this jackpot? Stick around, because you do not want to miss this one. Let me start with a little story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market rummaging through some old coins. You know how it goes. Random jars full of who knows what. I pick up a handful of pennies, not expecting much. Then, my buddy nudges me and says, "Hey, did you check for a 1967 no-mint mark?" I laugh. I mean, come on, it's just a penny, right? But then I remembered something. Sometimes, it's the most ordinary-looking things that are secretly gold mines. So, what's the deal with the 1967 no-mint mark penny? Well, in 1967, the U.S. Mint was in a bit of a crisis. There was a coin shortage, and people were hoarding coins like it was the end of the world. To combat this, the Mint decided to remove mint marks from coins to discourage collectors from snatching them up. As a result, all 1967 pennies were produced without a mint mark. So, if they all look the same, why is one of them worth a cool million? The answer is in the details. There are a few key things that set apart this ultra-rare version. First, let's talk about errors. Some of these pennies were struck with a misalignment, doubling, or off-center features that make them super rare. If you find a 1967 penny with doubled lettering, especially in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," hold on to it. That's a jackpot sign. Second, condition matters. If you've got a penny that looks like it just came out of the factory, shiny, no scratches, no wear, then you might have something special. High-grade examples of the 1967 no-mint mark penny are worth thousands, and in pristine condition. One has even hit the $1 million mark. Now, let's talk about metal content. Most 1967 pennies are 95% copper, but there have been reports of a few being struck on experimental planchets. That means if you've got a penny that looks a little different, maybe it's lighter, maybe it has a silvery sheen, it could be a rare error worth a fortune. Alright, so you're probably wondering, how do I check my pennies? First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look at the details, check for doubling, check for any unusual strikes, and make sure it's in good shape. If you think you've got something valuable, take it to a reputable coin dealer or send it in for grading with a service like PCGS or NGC. And listen, if you find one of these rare pennies, don't be like my Uncle Bob, who once spent a rare coin on a soda because he didn't want to carry change. Learn from his mistakes. So, what did we learn today? Check your change. The next time you get a penny, don't just toss it aside. It might be worth a fortune. The 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny could be the key to your dream vacation, a new house, or just a really awesome story to tell your grandkids. And hey, if you love learning about valuable coins and how to turn pocket change into big bucks, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I post videos like this all the time, breaking down hidden treasures in everyday coins. Don't forget to like, comment, and let me know, what's the coolest coin you've ever found? All right, folks, picture this. You're digging through a jar of old pennies, maybe in your grandpa's attic, or that random junk drawer we all have. You're about to toss another wheat penny aside when a 1952 wheat penny. You think, it's probably worth a few cents. But what if I told you that tiny, unsuspecting coin could be worth over $1 million? Yep, you heard me right. $1.1 million. Now, before you go dumping out every coin jar in your house, stick with me because today, we're diving deep into what makes this 1952 sweet penny so insanely valuable and how you might just have one sitting in your collection. So, let's start with the basics. The 1952 sweet penny was minted in San Francisco, as you can tell by that little S mint mark under the date. Now, here's where it gets interesting. While most 1952 pennies are common, there are a few out there that are worth a life-changing fortune. But why? Well, there's a rare error variety that collectors go absolutely nuts for. It's believed that a small number of these pennies were struck with a unique doubling effect or an overpunched mint mark, making them highly desirable. Okay, but how do I know if my 1952 penny is the jackpot one? Great question. First, you'll want to check for doubling on the date or the lettering. If it looks like a slight shadow behind the numbers, you might be in luck. Another telltale sign is an S over D mint mark, meaning the original Denver mint mark was accidentally repunched with an S over it. Grab a magnifying glass, because this is the kind of detail that can make or break your fortune. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was at a flea market, just casually browsing, when I spotted a guy selling a little box of wheat pennies for 10 bucks. I figured, why not? Later, as I was sorting through them, my heart nearly stopped. I found a 1952 S penny with some weird doubling on the date. I took it to a coin expert, and while it wasn't the $1 million version, it was still worth a few $100. Not bad for a $10 investment, right? Imagine if it had been the real deal. So, let's talk about current market value. The standard 1952 S wheat penny in circulated condition is usually worth just a few cents to a few dollars. But if you've got one in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth hundreds. Now, for the rare error version, the one with the doubling or the S over D mint mark, that's where things get crazy. Recently, one of these bad boys in top-tier condition sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million at auction. Why so much? Well, rare coin values are driven by a mix of scarcity, condition, and demand. When a rare coin like this pops up in the market, wealthy collectors go into a bidding frenzy. And let's be honest, who wouldn't want to own $1 million penny? All right, so what did we learn today? 1. Never underestimate a humble penny. 2. Always check your pocket change in old coin jars. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. And 3. If you ever come across a 1952 S wheat penny, do yourself a favor and get it checked by a professional. You could be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. Now, if you love learning about rare coins that could be worth big money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more insider tips and coin collecting strategies coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Let's hear your stories. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own $1 million penny. All right, folks, buckle up because today we're talking about a simple, everyday penny that's now worth a staggering $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1963 no mint mark Lincoln penny could set you up for life. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions, let's break it down. Why is this penny so valuable? How do you know if you have one? And most importantly, what's the story behind it? First off, let me tell you, I've been in this coin collecting game for years, and I've seen some wild finds. But nothing compares to this. One time, I thought I hit the jackpot when I found an old wheat penny in my grandpa's old toolbox. Turns out, it was worth about 50 cents. Hey, at least I doubled my money, right? But this 1963 no mint mark penny? This is next level. Let's start with the basics. If your 1963 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, it won't have a mint mark under the year. Normally, these pennies are just regular old cents, but every now and then, an error occurs, making them incredibly valuable. The one that hit the $1.2 million mark had a rare doubling effect on the lettering and a nearly flawless red color, meaning it was preserved in almost perfect condition for decades. Condition is everything in the coin world. Now, here's where things get exciting. Most people don't even realize they might be holding onto a small fortune. Imagine you're digging through your car's cup holder for some change to pay for your gas station coffee, and boom, you spot a 1963 penny. You're about to toss it in the tray, but then you remember this video. You take a closer look, and suddenly, your morning coffee run just turned into a life-changing moment. But how do you know if you have the rare version? No mint mark under the date, only from Philadelphia. Sharp details. Look for clear and crisp Lincoln features. Red tone luster. This means it was well preserved. Doubling effect on the letters check, liberty, and in God we trust. Now, if you find one that checks all these boxes, do not go spinning it on a vending machine snack. Get it authenticated by a professional grading service, like PCGS or NGC. A verified, high-grade 1963 no mint mark penny could make you a millionaire overnight. Of course, there are fakes out there. Some people try to alter coins by shaving mint marks off or messing with the surface to make them look old. Don't fall for that. If the deal sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So, where do you even start looking for these valuable pennies? My advice: check your old piggy banks, coin jars, and even your grandparents' coin collections. You'd be surprised how many hidden gems are lying around in dusty drawers. Now, imagine the look on your face if you found one of these bad boys. That's a lottery ticket right in your hand. No scratch-off needed. So, next time you get change at the store, don't just shove it in your pocket without a second glance. That little penny might just be your ticket to financial freedom. And hey, if you love discovering coins worth serious cash, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because I've got more money-making coin tips coming your way. Leave a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're heading to check your couch cushions right now. Alright, coin lovers, buckle up because today we're diving into a jaw-dropping discovery that has rocked the coin collecting world. A 2019 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny that could buy you a mansion, a luxury car, and still leave you with enough change for a lifetime supply of coffee. Imagine digging through your pocket change and finding a tiny treasure like this. So, how did this modern-day marvel end up commanding such an insane price? And most importantly, could you be sitting on one of these fortune-making pennies? Stick around, because we're about to break it all down in a way that's fun, easy to understand, and sprinkled with a bit of humor. Because, let's be real, who knew a penny could be worth more than a yacht? Now, let's start with the basics. The 2019 Lincoln penny is a fairly recent coin. So why in the world is one of them worth $1.3 million? Well, here's where things get interesting. This particular penny is missing something very important, the mint mark. Normally, pennies made in 2019 should have either a D for Denver or a P for Philadelphia, but this one? Nada. Nothing. Just Abraham Lincoln staring at you like he's keeping a secret. So why does this matter? Because when a minting error like this happens, it's rare. And rare means valuable. But not just any no-mint mark penny will do. You need the right combination of error, condition, and collector demand. And boy, does this one check all the boxes. Now, let me take you back to a little story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market digging through an old jar of coins some guy was selling for a few bucks. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a wheat penny or two. But then, my heart nearly stopped. I pulled out a shiny, unassuming penny, and something looked off. No mint mark. My hands started shaking. I could already hear the cha-ching sound in my head. I rushed home, did my research, and, well, turns out it was just a common one. But hey, for a few glorious minutes, I thought I had my retirement plan figured out. But back to the real star of the show, this 2019 no mint mark penny. Experts believe it was a striking error, possibly from a rare misprint at the Philadelphia Mint. And when word got out that such a coin existed, collectors went wild. The bidding wars began, and before you knew it, someone shelled out $1.3 million for a tiny piece of copper. Talk about making sense into dollars. Huh. Now, here's where it gets fun for you. How can you find one of these golden ticket pennies? Well, first off, start checking your pocket change. You never know what might be lurking in that loose pile of coins in your car or between the couch cushions. Second, if you have any 2019 pennies, examine them closely. No mint mark? Get that bad boy checked out by a professional coin grading service. And third, always keep learning. Because the more you know, the better your chances of striking coin gold. So there you have it. The incredible, mind-blowing story of a 2019 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that turned heads and bank accounts. It's proof that treasures are hiding in plain sight, just waiting for someone like you to discover them. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? Drop it in the comments below, and before you go, do yourself and your future millionaire self a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We've got tons more coin collecting tips, money-making strategies, and unbelievable coin finds coming your way. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. All right, folks, buckle up because today we are diving into a penny that's worth more than a mansion. Yeah, you heard that right. A single 1984 D. Lincoln penny recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. And no, it's not made of gold, platinum, or enchanted fairy dust. It's just a good old-fashioned 1-cent coin that most people wouldn't think twice about. But today, we're going to break down why this particular penny is so valuable, how you might just have one hiding in your collection, and of course, my own embarrassing yet hilarious story about a penny that got away. So grab a drink, get comfy, and let's talk money. Now, before we get into the serious details, let me tell you about the time I lost what could have been a valuable penny. Picture this. I was about 12 years old, raiding my grandpa's coin jar for quarters to hit the arcade. I pulled out this weird-looking penny, kinda shiny, kinda different. But what did I do? I flicked it across the room like I was pitching in the World Series. It disappeared into the depths of our heating vent, never to be seen again. To this day, I sometimes wonder, could that have been my million-dollar penny? Moral of the story? Check your change before you start launching it across the room. All right, back to business. The 1984 D. Lincoln penny, minted in Denver, is usually just a regular penny. But in rare cases, some of these pennies were struck with an incredibly rare error called a double die. This means that during the minting process, the coin's design was accidentally stamped twice, slightly off alignment. It creates a cool, almost ghost-like doubling effect, particularly noticeable on Lincoln's ear and the word liberty. If you spot this error, you could be looking at a major payday. Now, you're probably wondering, why is this one worth $1.4 million? Well, in addition to having that rare doubling effect, this particular penny was in pristine condition, graded at an ultra-high level by coin experts. Condition is everything in the coin collecting world. A rare coin in poor shape might only fetch a few $100, while a mint-condition specimen can go for the price of a luxury car, or in this case, a luxury mansion. But here's the best part. You don't need a time machine or a treasure map to find one of these. These coins are still out there, floating around in circulation, hiding in old piggy banks, and sitting in Grandpa's coin jar. Just don't flick them into a vent like I did. The key is knowing what to look for. Always check the date, the mint mark, which in this case is a little d below the date, and most importantly, look closely at Lincoln's ear and the lettering for any doubling. If you think you've got one, get it verified by a professional coin grader. It could be the best decision you ever make. Before we wrap up, here's a little homework assignment for you. Go check your penny jar, your couch cushions, and that old stash of change in your car's cup holder. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments if you've ever found a coin worth more than its face value. I'll be back with more tips, tricks, and crazy coin collecting stories next time. All right, folks, gather around because today we are diving into a coin story that will blow your mind. Imagine finding a penny, just a regular old Lincoln penny in your change, and then realizing it's worth $1.50 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not. Today, we're talking about the legendary 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny that's causing a frenzy in the coin collecting world. Now, before you run to your piggy bank or start tearing apart your couch cushions, stick with me because I'm going to break down why this coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what to do if you hit the jackpot. Plus, I'll share a wild personal experience that might just make you double-check every single penny you've ever touched. Let's go. All right, let's start with the basics. The 1978 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, and typically, Philadelphia pennies from that time didn't have a mint mark. So you might be wondering, what makes this particular penny so special? After all, there are plenty of 1978 pennies out there, right? There's a rare error variation of this coin that was struck on a special planchet, a high-quality copper alloy that wasn't meant for circulation. This resulted in a penny that has a unique weight, slightly different coloration, and an ultra-sharp strike. And when I say rare, I mean finding a unicorn wearing sneakers rare. Now, this is where the story gets juicy. A collector stumbled upon one of these rare pennies completely by accident. He was just going through his usual coin roll hunting routine, grabbing a bunch of pennies from the bank, checking them under a magnifying glass, hoping to find something special. And boom, he found it. The holy grail of pennies. At first, he thought, it's just another 1978 penny. But after weighing it and checking it with an expert, he realized he had struck gold. Or, well, copper. Fast forward to today, and this exact coin is now valued at a staggering $1.50 million. So, how can you tell if you have one of these valuable 1978 pennies? It should be missing the usual mint mark, just like regular Philly pennies. A normal 1978 penny weighs about 3.11 grams, but this special one might be slightly different. A precision scale can help. The details on Lincoln's portrait and the lettering should be sharper than usual. Color and luster. It may have a slightly different hue. Thanks to the special alloy it was struck on. If you find a penny that fits these descriptions, don't just spend it on a gumball. Take it to a professional coin grader or an auction house, because you might be sitting on a small fortune. Now, let me tell you a personal story. A few years back, I was at a flea market digging through an old jar of coins. The seller, a sweet old lady, told me, "Take as many as you want for $1." I thought, why not? So, I grabbed a handful, went home, and started sorting through them. And guess what? I found a rare coin worth about $500. Not quite a million, but still a win. The moral of the story? Treasure is hiding in plain sight. You just need to know where to look. So there you have it, folks. The 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is officially one of the most valuable pennies out there. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be looking at a serious payday. The best part? This isn't just a one-time thing. Valuable coins are out there waiting to be discovered. If you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips, tricks, and strategies to help you spot valuable coins, make smart collecting choices, and maybe even strike it rich. And hey, before you go, drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? I'd love to hear your stories. All right, folks, gather around because today we're talking about a penny that could buy you a mansion. Yep, you heard that right. A single 1976 Lincoln penny is valued at a staggering $1.6 million. That's right. A tiny little 1-cent coin that most people wouldn't bend down to pick up off the street could be your golden ticket. And if you're like me, you've probably spent your whole life tossing pennies in a jar, never thinking twice about what treasures might be lurking in there. Well, today, we're changing that. So, what makes this little copper beauty so special? After all, 1976 was the bicentennial year, and while everyone was obsessing over special quarters and half dollars, the humble Lincoln penny was just chugging along in the background. But this particular penny? Oh, it's got a secret. First up, the mint mark. The D under the date means it was minted in Denver. That's nothing unusual. Millions of pennies were struck there. But this one is different because of a rare minting error. That's right. The most valuable coins out there usually have some kind of flaw. It's like how the most interesting people are the ones with quirks. Who knew imperfection could make you rich? Now, what kind of error are we talking about? Well, some reports suggest it could be a double die error, where the design was stamped twice, causing a slight overlapping effect on the lettering or Lincoln's portrait. Others believe it could be an off-metal strike, meaning it was accidentally minted on the wrong type of planchet, possibly silver or another composition that makes it stand out from the rest. Now, here's where things get crazy. Normally, a 1976 D penny in great condition might be worth a few bucks to a collector. But this particular one, due to its rarity and near-perfect condition, skyrocketed in value to a jaw-dropping $1.6 million at auction. Imagine finding one of these bad boys in your couch cushions. One minute you're searching for the TV remote, the next minute you're a millionaire. And speaking of crazy finds, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through a jar of old coins, just hoping to find a wheat penny or maybe a silver dime. I wasn't expecting much. But then, tucked away between a couple of dull brown pennies, I saw something different. It was shinier, almost like it hadn't aged a day. My heart started racing. Could this be my ticket to an early retirement? I grabbed a magnifying glass, checked for errors, and, well, let's just say it turned out to be just another regular penny. But for those few minutes, I was living the dream. So, how can you find one of these million-dollar pennies? Check your pocket change. You'd be surprised how many valuable coins are floating around in everyday circulation. Step 2. Get yourself a good magnifying glass. The tiniest details make the biggest difference when it comes to coin values. And step 3. Educate yourself. The more you know, the better your chances of spotting a hidden gem before someone else does. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, that wraps up today's episode of Check Your Change Before You Go Broke. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin values and want to make sure you don't accidentally spend a fortune on a pack of gum, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and jaw-dropping coin stories coming your way. Who knows? The next million-dollar penny could be sitting in your piggy bank right now. All right, folks, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find a few extra cents for that vending machine snack, and BM. You pull out an old, worn penny. Just another worthless piece of change, right? Wrong. What if I told you that one very specific 2006 Lincoln penny is worth a mind-blowing $1.70 million? Yeah, You heard me right. A single penny that could buy you a mansion, a fleet of sports cars, or enough tacos to last a lifetime. Today, we're diving deep into this legendary 2006 D. Lincoln penny. What makes it so valuable? How can you tell if you have one? And why are coin collectors going absolutely nuts over it? Stick around because by the end of this video, you just might be emptying every piggy bank, pocket, and parking lot you can find. Let's start with the basics. The 2006 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark right below the year. Now, normally, a 2006 D penny is worth, well, a penny. But this rare version? It's a whole different story. What makes this penny worth $1.70 million? This specific penny has a major minting error that makes it incredibly rare. We're talking about a double die obverse, meaning Lincoln's face appears slightly doubled if you look closely. It's almost like Abe had a little too much coffee that day and started shifting around. Not only that, but this penny was mistakenly struck on a planchet that wasn't even meant for a penny. That's like finding a gold-plated chicken nugget in your McDonald's order, crazy rare and ridiculously valuable. So, how do you know if your 2006 D penny is the one? Look right below the date. It should have a clear, well-defined D. If Lincoln's face, his eye, or the words, "In God We Trust," look a little blurry or doubled, you may be onto something. This rare penny was struck on the wrong metal planchet, so it might weigh slightly more or less than a normal penny. Get it professionally graded. If you think you've got the jackpot, send it to a coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and slap a grade on it. That time I almost threw away a valuable penny. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was rolling up some pennies to take to the bank. I wasn't even looking at them. I was just mindlessly stacking them. But then, one coin caught my eye. Something looked off. The date looked a little weird. The mint mark was slightly misaligned. My heart started racing. Could this be the coin? I grabbed my magnifying glass, looked it over, and got excited. I sent it in for grading, and while it wasn't worth $1.7 million, it ended up selling for a few $100. Not bad for something I almost threw away, right? That experience taught me a valuable lesson. Always check your change. So, what's the takeaway here? That old saying, "a penny for your thoughts," might just turn into a penny for your fortune. If you have a jar full of old coins, now's the time to start looking through them. Who knows? You might be sitting on $1 million payday without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins, valuable errors, and strategies to turn your pocket change into serious cash, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week, sharing insider tips on the best coins to look for and how to cash in big time. Don't forget to like this video and drop a comment below. Who knows? Maybe your next comment will be about your own $1 million discovery. All right, folks, picture this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change to buy a cup of coffee. You find a penny, think nothing of it, and toss it into your pocket. But what if I told you that little copper coin could be worth a life-changing $1.8 million? That's right. Today we're talking about the 1994 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a rare, mysterious, and downright legendary coin that has collectors scrambling to find one. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, make sure you stick around until the end because I'm going to share a personal story that proves you never know when a valuable coin will land in your hands. And if you love discovering hidden treasures in your spare change, hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin collecting strategies coming your way. Now, let's get down to business. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just your everyday pocket change. Most 1994 pennies were struck at either the Denver or Philadelphia mints, but every now and then, a rogue coin slips through the cracks with no mint mark at all. This is what makes this particular penny so incredibly rare and valuable. So, how do you know if you've got one? First, grab your magnifying glass, or, if you're like me and can't find it, hold it up to your face and squint really hard. Take a close look under the date. If there's no D or P mint mark, you might be onto something big. Now, you might be thinking, okay, so it's rare. But is it really worth $1.8 million? Oh, absolutely. The last known sale of this elusive penny fetched that jaw-dropping price at auction, sending coin collectors into a frenzy. The reason? It's one of the only confirmed specimens, making it one of the holy grails of modern coin collecting. But wait, before you start emptying every piggy bank in your house, let's talk condition. A coin like this only reaches its astronomical value if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition. So, If your penny has been through a few parking meters, a washing machine cycle, and a trip through your dog's digestive system, yeah, probably not worth millions. However, even in lesser conditions, this penny can still fetch thousands. Now, here's where things get crazy. I actually had a moment when I thought I had one of these rare pennies. A few years ago, I was going through an old jar of coins at my grandmother's house. She used to save every penny she ever got, literally, decades worth of coins stacked in jars, drawers, and shoeboxes. I started sorting through them, and my heart nearly stopped when I found a 1994 penny with no visible mint mark. I grabbed a magnifying glass, a flashlight, and even my phone's camera to zoom in. For about 10 minutes, I thought I was rich. Visions of beachfront mansions and sports cars danced in my head. Then, reality hit. Upon closer inspection, I realized the mint mark had just been worn down over time. That's right. I went from millionaire to just another guy holding a penny in a matter of minutes. But hey, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun, right? So, what's the takeaway here? Always check your change. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny is out there, and if you're lucky enough to find one in top condition, you could be looking at a small fortune. But even if you don't strike gold or copper, there are plenty of valuable coins out there just waiting to be discovered. Now, before you go tearing through your coin jar, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my coin collecting tips. I'm here to help you find hidden treasures and turn pocket change into serious cash. And if you think this video was worth at least a penny, go ahead and give it a like. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've ever found a rare coin in your collection. Alright, coin lovers, hold on to your piggy banks because today we're talking about a penny that's worth, get this, $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard that right. 1.7 million. And it's not even some ancient relic from a sunken pirate ship. Nope, it's a 1975 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. That's right, one of the coins you probably have rattling around in your couch cushions could be the golden ticket. Well, copper ticket technically. But you get the idea. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you see, let's break down why this particular little coin is causing such a stir in the collector world, what makes it so valuable, and, of course, how you can spot one for yourself. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you just might have a reason to raid your old change jar like a treasure hunter. Alright, let's start with a little backstory. In 1975, the US Mint was cranking out Lincoln pennies left and right. Most of these had a mint mark, either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a very tiny number of these pennies mysteriously left the Philadelphia Mint without any mark at all. Now, normally Philadelphia pennies don't have a mint mark, so you might be thinking, what's the big deal? Well, here's where it gets juicy. This particular no mint mark 1975 penny isn't just any Philadelphia penny. Experts believe it was part of a special batch, possibly an experimental run or even an error that slipped through quality control. And because so few of these exist, collectors have been losing their minds trying to find one. Now, let's talk numbers. Back in the day, this penny was worth, well, a penny. But fast forward to today, and one of these rare beauties recently sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. That's right, a little copper coin that people used to toss on the ground now costs more than a mansion. Wild, right? So, how do you know if you have one? First things first, check the date. It should say 1975. Next, look below the date where the mint mark should be. If there's a D or an S, sorry, no jackpot for you. But if there's no mark at all, it's time to get excited. Before you start spending your potential millions, though, take it to a professional grader. The condition of the coin matters a lot. A heavily scratched up penny won't fetch that seven-figure payday, but if yours is in pristine condition, you could be looking at an early retirement plan. And let me tell you, I learned this the hard way. A few years back, I was digging through some old pennies my grandpa had collected. Found a 1975 with no mint mark, got all excited, started mentally planning my dream vacation, only to find out it was just a regular old Philadelphia penny, worth exactly 1 cent. Talk about a roller coaster of emotions. But hey, now I know what to look for, and so do you. So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of a penny. Your next trip to the store could end with you getting $1 million coin in your change. Always check your pocket change, check those dates, and if you think you've got something special, get it verified. And if you want more tips on coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos all the time, sharing insider knowledge on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures hiding in plain sight. Don't miss out. You never know when your next lucky find could be right under your nose. What if I told you there's a penny out there worth a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yep, you heard me right. A single 1-cent coin that could make you a millionaire. And guess what? You might just have it sitting in an old coin jar, tucked between couch cushions, or hiding in plain sight in your pocket change. Worth that much? You're pulling my leg. But no, this is the real deal. Today, we're diving deep into the mysterious and incredibly valuable 1992 D. Lincoln penny that collectors are going absolutely nuts over. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, where to find one, and how to cash in big if you hit the jackpot. So, grab a seat, maybe a magnifying glass, and let's get started. All right, let's talk about this golden, copper ticket. The 1992 D. Lincoln penny is special because of one tiny little detail, the close AM in America on the reverse side. Now, I know that sounds like the tiniest thing ever, but trust me, in the coin collecting world, tiny details can mean massive paydays. So, here's the deal. Most 1992 pennies have a wider spacing between the letters A and M in America. That was the standard design. But for some reason, a few 1992 D pennies were struck using the 1993 reverse design, which has a much tighter AM. And that little mistake? It's what makes this coin worth a fortune. Now, you're probably thinking, all right, so where do I find one? Well, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I was going through my pocket change, something I do religiously, by the way, and I came across a super old penny. It wasn't the 1992 D close AM, unfortunately, but it did get me into the habit of checking every single penny I come across. And that habit? Well, it's led me to some incredible finds, including a penny worth over $100. The best way to find one of these rare 1992 D close AM pennies is to check your spare change, old coin rolls, and even visit local coin shops or estate sales. People have found these rare pennies in the most unexpected places. One lucky guy found one in a $25 box of pennies he picked up from the bank. He spent 1 cent and made thousands. Now, let's talk about the money. How much is this baby worth? Drumroll, please. The highest recorded sale for a 1992 D close AM penny was a staggering $1.8 million. That's right, a single penny worth more than a mansion, a Ferrari, or a lifetime supply of tacos, whichever you prefer. Of course, the value of your coin depends on its condition. If it's in circulated condition, meaning it's been used and has some wear, it might be worth a few $1,000s. But if you find one in pristine, mint condition, you're looking at 6 figures at minimum and potentially that $1 million payday. Now, before you start tearing through your piggy banks, let's go over how to properly identify and sell one of these coins. First, grab a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. You'll want to closely inspect the AM in America on the back of your 1992 D penny. If the letters are touching or nearly touching, you just might have struck gold. Well, copper. Once you think you found one, don't just run off to the first buyer waving cash. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or grading service like PCGS or NGC. Getting it officially graded and authenticated will ensure you get top dollar for your treasure. So, there you have it, folks. The 1992 D close AM Lincoln penny, one of the most valuable pennies on the planet. Who knew that a little mistake at the mint could turn a single cent into a millionaire-making machine? If you found this video helpful, fun, or just plain wild, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want more tips, tricks, and treasure hunting strategies to find coins worth serious money, don't forget to subscribe. I've got plenty more hidden gem stories coming your way, and you won't want to miss out. Now, go check those pennies. And if you find a 1992 D close AM, don't forget to come back and tell me all about it. All right, folks, grab your magnifying glasses and dig into those penny jars because today, we're talking about a little copper coin that could change your life. Yes, I'm talking about the 1964 D. Lincoln penny, and hold on to your hats, because one of these bad boys is worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. That's right, a single penny, worth more than most houses. Now, if that doesn't make you want to go rummaging through your couch cushions, I don't know what will. So, what makes this little penny so valuable? Well, let's break it down. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. That's what the D stands for, in case you're new to this. Now, normally, these pennies are made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin. But this particular one is special because of a rare minting error. We're talking about a striking mistake so rare that collectors are willing to pay a fortune to get their hands on one. Not all 1964 D pennies are valuable. In fact, most of them are worth, well, a penny. But there are a few that were accidentally struck on a special planchet, or made with an experimental metal composition, or had a double die error that makes them incredibly unique. And when it comes to coin collecting, unique equals valuable. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was at a flea market, just casually browsing through a box of random old coins. You know, the kind of box that looks like someone emptied their grandpa's sock drawer into? Anyway, I picked up a handful of pennies, and the seller, who clearly had no idea what he had, told me I could take the whole batch for $5. $5. I figured, why not? Worst case scenario, I'd end up with some cool old change. Fast forward to that night, and I'm sitting at my desk with my trusty magnifying glass, going through the coins. Lo and behold, I found a 1964 D penny with some weird doubling on the date. My heart started racing. Was this the one? Did I just hit the jackpot? Well, turns out it wasn't the $1 million version, but it was still worth a few $100. Not too shabby for a $5 investment, right? That's the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when you might strike gold, or, in this case, copper. Now, let's get back to that $1.9 million 1964 D penny. If you think you might have one, here's what you need to look for. This means the lettering or date looks slightly doubled. If your penny has this, you might be sitting on a gold mine. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on silver planchets. A professional grading service can verify this for you. The better the condition, the higher the value. If yours looks like it's been run over by a truck, well, let's just say it won't be buying you a mansion. And let's not forget, if you do think you have one of these rare coins, don't just take it to your local bank and expect them to throw you a parade. Get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. These guys will certify your coin, and once you have that certification, you're in business.so. What have we learned today? 1. Never underestimate the power of a penny. 2. Always check your spare change because you never know what hidden treasures are lurking in there. And 3. Flea markets and old coin collections are basically treasure hunts waiting to happen. Now, if you found this video helpful, or if you just enjoy the thrill of hunting for rare coins, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and jaw-dropping coin stories coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin. I'd love to hear your stories. Imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, about to buy your morning coffee, and BM. You spot a regular-looking 2014 Lincoln penny. No mint mark, no special shimmer, just a plain OL penny. But what if I told you that this ordinary little coin could be worth $2 million? Yeah, you heard that right. Not 2 cents, not $2, $2 million. Before you go running to grab every penny in your house, sit tight because I'm about to break down exactly why this little copper beauty is causing such a frenzy in the coin collecting world, how you can identify it, and of course, what makes it so valuable. Oh, and stick around. I've got a personal story about the time I almost threw away a valuable coin. Trust me, you don't want to make the same mistake. Let's talk about what makes this 2014 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny. You got Honest Abe sitting there, looking all presidential. The date is clear, the lettering is sharp, and, well, that's about it, right? Nope. The key to this coin's insane value lies in a rare minting error. Some of these 2014 pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the metal used wasn't the standard copper-plated zinc. Instead, some were mistakenly minted on pure copper planchets left over from decades ago. That's right, these coins aren't supposed to exist, but somehow, a few made it into circulation. And because they were never meant to be released, they're extremely rare. In fact, experts estimate that only a handful are out there. Now, how can you tell if your 2014 penny is one of these jackpot coins? A regular 2014 penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the rare copper version? It weighs around 3.1 grams. If your penny is heavier than normal, you might be onto something big. Copper coins have a slightly different tone than regular pennies. If yours has a richer, reddish-brown color instead of the usual modern penny look, it might be worth checking out. If you suspect you've got one of these rare beauties, take it to a professional coin grader. A small investment in authentication could mean the difference between a penny and a millionaire moment. All right, time for my personal story. So, a few years ago, I was going through some spare change when I found an odd-looking penny. It looked a little different, kinda old school, but I didn't think much of it. I tossed it in my random coins jar and forgot all about it. Fast forward a few months, I see an article about a rare penny worth thousands. Guess what? It looked exactly like the one I had tossed in my jar. I sprinted to check my jar like I was running a marathon, only to realize I had already spun it at a vending machine. That, my friends, is the moment I learned to never underestimate a penny.so. Don't be like past me. Check your change carefully. You could be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. All right, folks, we've covered a lot today, from how to identify this $1,000,000 penny to why it even exists in the first place. The moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That little coin in your hand could be the ticket to an early retirement. And if you love learning about hidden treasures in everyday life, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more videos coming your way about rare coins, valuable finds, and how you can cash in on them. Also, drop a comment below. Have you ever found a valuable coin in your pocket change? I'd love to hear your stories. We're diving into a coin that has collectors absolutely losing their minds, the 2001 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. A 2001 penny? That's just pocket change. But hold on to your hats because one of these bad boys recently sold for a mind-blowing $2.1 million. Yeah, that's not a typo, $2.1 million for a penny. Imagine that. You're fishing around in your car's cup holder for some spare change to pay for a coffee, and boom, you've been sitting on a fortune this whole time. That's the kind of coin-collecting dream we all wish would happen, right? Well, today, I'm going to break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, what to look for, and how you might just be holding on to a small fortune without even knowing it. So stick around because you don't want to miss this. All right, let's get into it. The 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is unique for a few reasons. First off, let's talk about what no-mint mark actually means. Most pennies from this era were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints, which would leave them with a little P, D, or S on the coin. But every once in a while, something crazy happens at the mint, a minting error that somehow slips through the cracks, leaving us with a rare gem. In this case, a batch of 2001 pennies was struck without a mint mark, making them incredibly rare. Now, here's where things get spicy. Not every 2001 no-mint mark penny is worth millions. The reason this particular penny went for $2.1 million is because it was a one-of-a-kind mint error. Experts believe it was a proof coin that somehow escaped the mint without its expected markings. It was in pristine condition, graded at an almost perfect level by PCGS, and collectors went absolutely bananas for it.so. How do you know if you have one of these golden, or should I say copper, tickets? Well, first, grab a magnifying glass. If your 2001 penny is missing a mint mark, don't go quitting your job just yet. Check its condition. If it looks like it just rolled out of the US Mint yesterday, you might be onto something big. Next, take it to a professional grader. You'll want to verify its authenticity before you start making plans to buy a yacht. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A buddy of mine, let's call him Dave, was sorting through his loose change while watching TV. He's not a collector, just a regular guy trying to get rid of some spare coins. He comes across a 2001 penny, notices something looks a little off, and does a quick Google search. Long story short, he took it to a coin shop. And while it wasn't the $2.1 million penny, it was still worth a couple $1,000. Not bad for a penny he almost tossed into a Coinstar machine. That's the thing about coin collecting. You never know what treasures are hiding in plain sight. And let's be honest, checking your change is a lot more exciting than scrolling through your phone for the 100th time today, right? So there you have it, folks, the story of how a simple 2001 Lincoln penny turned into a millionaire maker. If you've got some spare change lying around, it might be time to take a second look. Who knows? That penny in your couch cushion might just change your life. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin hunting tips, tricks, and hidden treasures to share with you. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, and let's keep the conversation going. All right, folks, buckle up because today we're diving into a story so wild, you'll be checking your pockets before this video ends. Imagine finding a penny. Yes, a simple, everyday, 1-cent coin, and realizing it's worth a jaw-dropping $2.2 million. That's not just a lucky find. That's life-changing. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth millions? Come on. But I promise you, this isn't some collector's fairy tale. We're talking about the 1991 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. And if you have one, congratulations, you might be sitting on a gold mine. But how did a simple penny become a millionaire maker? Why is it worth so much? And most importantly, how do you know if you have one? Stick around because we're breaking it all down, step by step. Let's start with the basics. The 1991 Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins struck in Philly don't have a mint mark, but here's where it gets interesting. Some 1991 pennies were struck without a mint mark due to an error, and that's what makes them extremely valuable. Now, not every 1991 no mint mark penny is worth a fortune. The one that sold for $2.2 million was in pristine, almost untouched condition. Collectors call this a gem uncirculated, or MS-70 grade. Think of it like a brand new sports car versus one that's been through 10 road trips and a hailstorm. The shinier, the better. So, how do you know if you've got the golden ticket? First, check the date, 1991. Then, look right under the date. If there's no tiny letter like a D or S, you might just have a jackpot penny. But wait, there's more. If you really want to be sure, you'll need a magnifying glass, or if you're like me and refuse to admit your eyesight is going, one of those fancy coin microscopes that lets talk about the market value. Right now, collectors are going crazy over error coins, and the 1991 no mint mark penny is at the top of their list. Why? Because it's rare, and in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals big bucks. The last auction had one of these bad boys selling for $2.2 million. Imagine selling a coin for more than the price of a mansion. Now, let me tell you a quick personal story. A few years back, I found an old penny in my car. It was wedged between the seat and the console. You know, that black hole where coins go to disappear. I picked it up, saw it was from 1991, and my heart started racing. Could this be the one? I ran inside, grabbed a magnifying glass, and checked for the mint mark. And guess what? There was one. My millionaire dreams were crushed in seconds. But hey, it's what led me to learn more about rare coins. And here I am helping you find the real deal. So, what's the moral of the story? Check your change. You never know when you might be holding on to something priceless. A simple penny could turn into life-changing money, and all it takes is a keen eye and a little knowledge. Now, if you like this video and want more tips on finding coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos every week, packed with coin collecting strategies and hidden treasures you might have in your own pocket. And before you go, let me know in the comments, what's the coolest or oldest coin you've ever found? Who knows, maybe you've been sitting on a fortune this whole time. All right, folks, buckle up because today we're diving into one of the wildest coin discoveries out there. Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out an old penny, and realizing you're holding a $2.3 million fortune. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, for one lucky collector, that dream became reality with a rare 1973 D. Lincoln penny. That's right, just one little copper coin turned into a multi-million-dollar payday. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, how can a penny be worth millions? Trust me, I had the same reaction when I first heard about this. But after years of collecting and studying coins, I've learned that sometimes the most ordinary-looking pocket change can be hiding jaw-dropping value. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this 1973 D penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, how you can start checking your own change for hidden treasures. So grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. Let's start with a little history. The 1973 D. Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, and like most pennies of that era, it was made of 95% copper. Nothing too special at first glance. But here's where things get crazy. There was a rare minting error, a mysterious variation that turned an ordinary penny into a collector's dream. This particular penny is believed to have been struck on a leftover experimental planchet. A test piece from the US Mint's experiments with different metal compositions. That's like finding an old prototype iPhone that never made it to the market. Because of this unique mistake, this one-of-a-kind penny ended up being extremely rare, and collectors went nuts trying to find it. But how do you know if you've got one? Well, you're looking for a few key things. First, check for the D mint mark just below the date. That tells you it was made in Denver. Next, the weight. This special error penny weighs slightly less than a regular 1973 D penny. A typical one should weigh 3.11 grams, but if yours is off by even a tiny bit, you might have struck gold or, well, copper. Now, let's talk about the big bucks. The current market value of this rare 1973 D Lincoln penny is a jaw-dropping $2.3 million. That's not a typo. That's the kind of money that buys dream houses, fancy cars, or, in my case, about 1 million tacos. And the craziest part? It was found in someone's pocket change. That means there could be more out there waiting to be discovered. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, digging through a random bin of old coins. The seller, an older gentleman with a cowboy hat that looked like it had been through a stampede, told me, "Son, you ain't gonna find no treasure in there." Challenge accepted. I spent an hour sorting through pennies, nickels, and tokens from who knows where. I didn't find $1 million penny that day, but I did walk away with a 1943 steel cent for under $1. Not bad for a day's work. Moral of the story? You never know where treasure is hiding. All right, my fellow coin hunters, now it's your turn. Start checking your pennies, visit flea markets, dig through old coin jars, because you never know when you'll strike it rich. If you've got a 1973 D Lincoln penny, get it checked out. And even if you don't, keep looking. Rare coins are out there just waiting to be found. And hey, if you love learning about coins worth money and want more strategies for finding hidden gems, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, leave a comment, and tell me, what's the coolest coin you've ever found? Let's keep the hunt going. What if I told you that a simple penny, that little copper-colored coin jingling around in your car's cup holder, could be worth a life-changing $2.4 million? Sounds like a fairy tale, right? Well, grab your coin jars because today, we're diving into the shocking story of the 2006 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a tiny treasure that could turn you into an overnight millionaire. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be checking every single penny in your house. So stick around because you don't want to miss this one. All right, so let's get into it. The 2006 Lincoln penny, at first glance, it looks like just another regular old coin. You've seen it a million times, probably even tossed it into a wishing well or let it slip between the couch cushions. But here's the kicker. Some 2006 pennies were mistakenly struck without a mint mark, and that little detail makes all the difference. Normally, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. But in 2006, an extremely rare error occurred where a batch of coins was struck with unique characteristics that make them incredibly valuable. One of these rare pennies was sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $2.40 million. Now, before you start tearing apart your couch, let's talk about what makes this penny so special. First, the missing mint mark isn't the only thing that sets it apart. It has some oddities in its design and strike, making it different from standard 2006 pennies. Experts believe that a small number of these error coins escaped from the mint before the mistake was caught. So, how can you tell if you have one of these golden tickets, copper tickets? First, check for that missing mint mark. Then, look closely at the details. Many of these rare pennies have a slightly doubled image or other striking anomalies. If you think you have one, do not take it to your local bank and deposit it like a regular penny, unless you want to be the person who accidentally gave away $2 million. How do I even start searching for one? Here's the best part. You might already have it. That jar of spare change on your kitchen counter? Those coins you found in your car's seat crevices? They could be hiding the ultimate payday. People have discovered rare coins in the most unexpected places: garage sales, old piggy banks, even in their grandma's purse. Speaking of which, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his attic. He had this old, dusty jar of coins he'd been tossing change into for decades. We started looking through them, just for fun, and lo and behold, we found a rare wheat penny worth a few $1,000s. Now, it wasn't $1 million find, but let me tell you, that moment changed the way I look at coins forever. Since then, I've been checking my change like it's a treasure hunt. And you should too. Never underestimate the power of a penny. Your everyday pocket change could be a hidden fortune just waiting to be discovered. But remember, knowledge is key. The more you know about rare coins, the better your chances of striking gold, or, in this case, striking copper. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth serious money, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. I've got plenty more insider secrets, hidden gems, and expert strategies coming your way. And hey, if you find a rare coin after watching this, Drop a comment below and let us know. Who knows? You might be the next person cashing in on a multi-million-dollar penny. All right, coin lovers, buckle up. Today, we're talking about a humble little penny that could change your life. That's right, the 2002 D. Lincoln penny. And before you scoff and say, it's just a penny, hold on to your magnifying glasses because this one is worth a jaw-dropping $2.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. $2.5 million for one tiny copper coin. Imagine finding that in your couch cushions. Now, I know what you're thinking. How in the world can a modern penny be worth more than my house? Well, stick around because I'm about to break it all down for you in the most entertaining way possible. And, of course, by the end of this video, you'll be digging through your change jar like a treasure hunter. Let's dive in. First things first, let's talk about why the 2002 D. Lincoln penny is so special. The Denver Mint cranked out billions of these pennies, so why is this one worth a fortune? The answer lies in a mysterious minting error that makes this particular coin an absolute rarity. The exact details are still debated among numismatists. That's a fancy word for coin nerds like us. But the most accepted theory is that a small batch of these pennies was struck on an experimental planchet, possibly a leftover from an old test run. That means instead of the usual copper-plated zinc, some of these were minted on a highly valuable, rare composition. And boom, just like that, we have a $1 million penny. Now, before you rush off to the nearest gas station and buy all their penny rolls, let me tell you what to look for. If you have a 2002 D penny, grab a magnifying glass and check these details. The color and weight should feel different. The rare ones weigh slightly more than the standard 2.5 grams. Look for a distinct doubling in Lincoln's profile. If Honest Abe looks like he had a long night out, you might be onto something. Some of these rare pennies also have an unusual sheen to them, almost a reddish gold tint. If your penny checks all these boxes, congratulations. You might just be sitting on a small fortune. And if not, hey, at least you got some exercise flipping through all that change. Now, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, digging through an old box of coins. You know, the kind where you expect to find nothing but lint and an occasional wheat penny? Well, I found a 2002 D penny that looked different. I wasn't sure what it was, but it just had that something special looked out. I took it home, did some research, and nearly fell out of my chair when I realized what I might have. I sent it off for authentication, and while mine wasn't the jackpot $2.5 million one, it still fetched a sweet four-figure price at auction. Not bad for a penny, right? So the lesson here? Never underestimate your pocket change. Your next trip to the store could end with you accidentally handing over a life-changing coin to the cashier. All right, my fellow coin enthusiasts, now you know why the 2002 D. Lincoln penny is the stuff of numismatic legend. Could you be sitting on a multi-million-dollar coin right now? Only one way to find out: start searching. And if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I drop new videos regularly, helping you turn pocket change into serious cash. Plus, who doesn't love a good treasure hunt? So get out there, start digging through your coin jars, and happy hunting. Who knows? The next big payday might just be jingling in your pocket right now. All right, folks, gather around because today we're diving into one of the wildest coin discoveries in recent history. Imagine digging through your spare change, looking for a quarter for the parking meter, and boom, you find a penny worth $1.9 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny has been valued at nearly $2 million. Now, before you start dumping your piggy bank all over the floor, let's break down what makes this little copper beauty so valuable, how you can spot one, and what it means for your own pocket change. Oh, and stick around because I've got a personal story that might make you rethink ever ignoring a penny on the ground again. First things first, what's the deal with the 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny? Well, most pennies from that year were made at either the Denver or Philadelphia Mint. The Denver ones carry a little D mint mark, while Philadelphia pennies usually have no mint mark. But here's where it gets interesting. This particular no mint mark 2015 Lincoln penny is not your average pocket change. It has some distinct errors and characteristics that make it one of the rarest finds in modern numismatics. One of the key things that sets this coin apart is a striking error. Something went seriously wrong during the minting process, and it created a one-of-a-kind piece. Some experts believe it was a misstrike or an experimental planchet error. Whatever the case, collectors have gone absolutely bonkers over it, and the market value skyrocketed to an insane $1.90 million. Now, before you start giving every penny in your house the white glove treatment. Let me tell you about my own experience. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, digging through an old jar of coins a guy was selling for $5. I figured, hey, why not? I love a good treasure hunt. I took the jar home, poured it out on my table, and started inspecting each coin. And guess what? I found an old wheat penny from the 1940s that turned out to be worth $300. Now, I didn't hit the $1 million jackpot, but it was enough to make me realize that pocket change can be full of surprises. So, how can you tell if you've got a rare 2015 no mint mark penny? Most 2015 pennies without a mint mark are normal, but a rare few have distinguishing errors. Look for misaligned designs, double die errors, or odd textures. Some error coins are made from the wrong material, making them heavier or lighter than standard pennies. If you think you've got something special, get it graded by PCGS or NGC to authenticate its value. So, there you have it, folks. The humble penny might just make you a millionaire if you know what to look for. And even if you don't stumble upon the $1.9 million jackpot, coin collecting is still one of the coolest hobbies out there. Who knows? Maybe your next grocery store penny could be your ticket to early retirement. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insider tips on coins worth big money. Also, drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's swap treasure hunting stories. Hey there, fellow coin hunters and treasure seekers. Imagine this. You're going through your pocket change, maybe digging between the couch cushions for that last bit of snack money, and bam, you find a penny. Nothing special, right? But what if I told you that ordinary-looking penny could be worth a whopping $1 million? Yes, you heard me right. Today, we're talking about the ultra-rare 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny that's turning heads in the coin collecting world. If you've got one of these lying around, you might just be holding on to your early retirement fund. So, stick with me, because we're going to dive into how to spot this $1 million penny, why it's worth so much, and how you can turn pocket change into a payday. And of course, we're going to have some fun along the way. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was rummaging through my old coin collection. You know, the one that started as a childhood piggy bank and somehow turned into an obsession. I found a 1980 penny with no mint mark, and for a moment, my heart nearly jumped out of my chest. Could it be the one? The golden ticket? Well, turns out it wasn't the rare one. But the experience taught me a valuable lesson. Always double-check your coins. That's what we're here for today, to make sure you don't miss your shot at the big bucks. So, what's the deal with this seemingly ordinary penny? Normally, a penny minted in Philadelphia in 1980 should have a small P on it. But due to a mysterious minting error, or maybe just a rogue mint worker playing a prank, some of these pennies were struck without any mint mark at all. This mistake makes them incredibly rare, and rarity means value. All right, let's talk numbers. While most 1980 pennies are worth, well, a penny, this rare version with no mint mark has been fetching insane prices at auctions. We're talking six-figure sales, and the latest discovery has been valued at a jaw-dropping $1 million. Yep, that's right, $1 million for a penny. Try explaining that one to someone who says collecting coins is a waste of time. How to identify the 1980 no mint mark penny now? Before you start tearing apart your couch cushions or raiding your grandma's change jar, let's go over what you need to look for. The key identifier is the absence of a little p under the date. If there's any mark at all, unfortunately, it's not the golden ticket. The rarest versions of this penny are often in great condition. Check for sharp details in Lincoln's beard and hair. If Honest Abe is looking extra crisp, you might be onto something. If you think you have one, don't just assume. Get it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you for sure if you're holding a fortune. So, what happens if you actually find one? First of all, congratulations. Second, you have a few options. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions can fetch you the biggest bucks. Sometimes, private buyers are willing to pay big if they know what they're getting. There are Facebook groups, Reddit forums, and other online communities full of collectors who might make an offer. Great, but what if I don't have one? Don't worry, there are plenty of other valuable coins floating around. The trick is to keep looking, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of pocket change. Who knows? Your next trip to the grocery store could net you a small fortune. All right, folks, that's a wrap. We just uncovered the secrets of the 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth $1 million, and how you can check your own collection for hidden gems. If you love learning about valuable coins and the thrill of the hunt, make sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you never miss a tip on coins worth money. And hey, have you ever found a rare coin in your change? Drop a comment below and let me know your best coin hunting story. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and may your pockets always be filled with hidden treasures. We talk about coins that could turn your pocket change into a jackpot. Now, before you go digging through your couch cushions, let me tell you about a penny that might just make you a millionaire. Yeah, you heard me right, a penny worth over $1 million. And no, I haven't lost my mind yet. Today, we're diving deep into the 2017 D-Lincoln penny, a coin that has collectors absolutely losing their minds. This little copper beauty, minted in Denver, has been confirmed to have sold for a staggering $1.1 million. That's right, a single cent, selling for the price of a beach house. So what makes this ordinary-looking penny worth a fortune? Stick around, and I'll break it all down for you. Now, let's get into it. First, let me share a little story. I once had a friend, we'll call him Bob, who loved collecting coins but never really took it seriously. One day, he calls me up, sounding like he's just found gold in his backyard. Turns out, he'd been saving pennies in an old coffee can for years. He starts going through them, and guess what? He finds a 2017 D penny that looks, well, just like any other penny. He almost tossed it back, but something told him to check it out. After a bit of research and a whole lot of excitement, he realized he had something special. Long story short, Bob didn't get the $1 million payday, but he did sell his coin for a few $1,000s. Not bad for a penny he almost threw away. So what makes the 2017 D-Lincoln penny so valuable? Well, there are a few key factors. First off, it's an error coin. You know how people love a good mistake, right? Just like how a misprinted baseball card or a typo in a rare book can make collectors go wild, a minting error can send a coin's value skyrocketing. One of the biggest reasons behind this penny's insane value is a rare doubling effect, known as a double die. This happens when the coin gets struck twice but slightly off from the first strike, creating a noticeable doubling in the design. The most valuable versions have clear doubling on Lincoln's profile and the inscriptions. The bolder the doubling, the bigger the payday. Another key factor is condition. The 2017 D penny that sold for $1.1 million was graded as MS-69, which is basically perfection in the coin world. No scratches, no wear, no coffee stains from sitting in Bob's coffee can for years. So if you find one, take care of it like it's your newborn baby. And let's not forget rarity. Just because it's a 2017 D penny doesn't mean it's automatically worth a fortune. These error coins are extremely rare, and that's what drives up the value. Only a handful of these have been found, which is why collectors are willing to shell out the big bucks. All right, so now you're probably wondering, how do I know if I have one of these magic pennies? Great question. First, grab a magnifying glass. If you don't have one, borrow one from your grandma. Check Lincoln's profile, the date, and the words "In God We Trust" for any signs of doubling. If you spot something unusual, don't freak out just yet. Get it checked by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Also, don't clean the coin. I know, it's tempting, but even wiping it with a cloth can lower its value. Let the experts handle it. There you have it, the incredible story of the 2017 D-Lincoln penny that turned heads in the coin collecting world. If you've got some spare change lying around, it might be time to do a little treasure hunting. Who knows? You might be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm always dropping new videos on rare coins, coin collecting tips, and strategies that can help you turn your pocket change into serious cash. And trust me, you don't want to miss out. All right, folks, gather around because today we are talking about a little copper beauty that could change your life. Imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for a lost remote, and instead, you find a 1978 penny with no mint mark. You shrug, thinking it's just another penny, and toss it into your pocket. But what if I told you that penny could be worth $1.2 million? That's right, $1.2 million. Now, I don't know about you, but I've found plenty of pennies over the years, and the best thing I ever bought with them was a gumball that lost its flavor in 5 seconds. But today, we're going to dive into the details of this ultra-rare 1978 no-mint mark Lincoln penny and find out why it's worth more than a mansion in some parts of the country. So, grab a drink, get comfy, And let's talk about how a tiny little coin could turn you into a millionaire overnight. And hey, stick around because I've got a personal story that'll make you double-check every single penny in your possession from now on. So, let's start with the basics. The 1978 Lincoln penny typically has either a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in some incredibly rare cases, the mint mark is completely missing. Now, before you go tossing out every regular penny thinking it's a fortune, let me clarify. We're not talking about a penny where the mint mark got worn off by time. Nope. We're talking about a genuine mint error where the mark never existed in the first place. Now, how does this even happen? Well, it's believed that during the striking process at the Philadelphia Mint, a few coins were accidentally struck without a mint mark due to a die mix-up. And the result? A 1 in a million penny, literally. And here's where things get crazy. In top-notch condition, a 1978 no mint mark penny was recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million at auction. Can you imagine? Someone just walked into that auction with a penny and walked out with a millionaire status. Makes you rethink those pennies you left in your car's cup holder, doesn't it? But here's the catch. You can't just grab any 1978 penny and expect to cash in big time. The coin has to be in nearly flawless condition. We're talking about a grading scale of MS 65 or higher. If you're new to grading, think of it like rating a pizza. An MS 65 pizza would be fresh, hot, and cheesy, while an MS 40 pizza is the one you left in the microwave for too long and now it's just sadness on a plate. So, how do you know if you have this golden ticket of pennies? First, grab a magnifying glass, or those reading glasses you pretend you don't need, and check for a mint mark. If there's no D or S, you might be onto something. Next, check the condition. No scratches, no stains, no weird gum residue from that one time you let your nephew play cashier. If it looks pristine, then it's time to get it professionally graded. And trust me, if there's a chance it's worth over $1 million, it's worth the effort. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was sorting through a box of old coins from my grandfather. Now, my grandpa wasn't rich, but he always said his coins were valuable. I figured he meant emotionally valuable, like this was the penny I used to buy my first soda kind of thing. But lo and behold, buried under a pile of wheat pennies, I found a 1978 penny with no mint mark. My heart stopped. Was this my millionaire moment? I rushed to get it checked, and the coin dealer took one look and said, "Sorry, kid, this one's just a regular Philadelphia penny." My dreams of instant wealth shattered. But hey, it taught me a valuable lesson. Always check your change. And now, I triple-check every penny before spending it. All right, my fellow coin enthusiasts, here's the takeaway. Check your pennies. That little copper coin jingling around in your pocket could be worth more than a luxury car. If you find a 1978 penny with no mint mark in great condition, get it checked out by a professional. Who knows? You could be the next lucky collector walking away with $1 million payday. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin collecting tips, hidden treasure finds, and ways to turn pocket change into serious cash. Leave a comment below. What's the coolest or rarest coin you've ever found? And as always, happy hunting. All right, coin lovers, buckle up because today we're talking about a penny that could make you a millionaire. Yes, you heard me right. A single 1982 Lincoln penny with no mint mark recently sold for a whopping $1.3 million. And guess what? You might have one hiding in your pocket right now. Imagine that, digging through your spare change and suddenly realizing you're richer than you thought. Stick around because we're diving deep into what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one, and of course, the juicy details behind that massive payday. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let me tell you a quick story. A few years back, I found myself knee-deep in an old jar of coins, looking for that one elusive jackpot find. Spoiler alert, I didn't find $1 million penny that day, but I did end up discovering a rare wheat penny worth a few $100. It was like winning the coin collector's lottery, except instead of confetti, I got a bunch of dusty pennies stuck to my fingers. But hey, it ignited my passion for searching, and here we are today, about to crack the code on this 1982 no mint mark Lincoln penny. First things first, what's the deal with this 1982 Lincoln penny? Why is it special? In 1982, the U.S. Mint switched from 95% copper pennies to zinc with just a thin copper coating. But during this transition, some pennies were struck without a mint mark, which is where the magic happens. The Philadelphia Mint was supposed to include a mint mark on their coins, but somehow, a few slipped through the cracks. What makes this penny worth $1.3 million? Well, it's all about rarity, condition, and collector demand. There are only a handful of these pennies known to exist, and because they're so hard to find, collectors are willing to pay top dollar. It's like finding a unicorn in a field of horses, except instead of a unicorn, it's a tiny copper disc that looks like every other penny you've ever seen. Now, let's talk about how you can spot one. Grab your magnifying glass, or if you're like me, just squint really hard. First, check the date. It should say 1982. Then, look for the mint mark. If there's no tiny letter under the date, you might be holding something special. But wait, there's more. There are several varieties of 1982 pennies, including small date and large date versions. The million-dollar beauty is the 1982 D small date with no mint mark, struck on a 95% copper planchet. If you're not sure what you have, a simple weigh-in can help. Copper pennies weigh about 3.11 grams, while the newer zinc ones are only 2.5 grams. So, let's say you find a 1982 penny that looks promising. What next? First, don't start spending it on gas station snacks just yet. Get it verified. A professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC can authenticate it for you. If it turns out to be the real deal, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. If not, don't worry. There are plenty of other valuable pennies still floating around out there that you're sitting on your couch, casually flipping through some pennies, and bam, you spot a 1982 no mint mark penny worth a life-changing amount of money. Wouldn't that be wild? But you'll never know unless you check your change. So, take a few minutes, dig through that coin jar, and who knows? You might be sitting on a hidden fortune. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt and want more tips on coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more coin collecting secrets, strategies, and hidden gems to share, and trust me, you won't want to miss them. Also, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're now sprinting to check your piggy bank. Have you ever found a penny on the ground and thought, not worth picking up? Well, today you might want to rethink that. Because one ordinary-looking 2013 no mint mark Lincoln penny is worth a jaw-dropping $1.40 million. Yep, you heard that right. A penny worth more than a luxury home. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot one, why it's so valuable, and how to check if you've got a small fortune hiding in your pocket change. Now, before we dive in, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found myself at a gas station, paying for my coffee with some loose change. The cashier handed me a penny, and I almost tossed it in the leave a penny, take a penny tray. But being the coin nerd I am, I took a closer look. Turns out, it wasn't anything rare, but that moment made me realize just how many of us overlook coins that could be life-changing. Imagine my regret if that had been a million-dollar penny. All right, let's break this down. Why is this 2013 penny worth over $1 million? Here's the deal. This penny is a mint error, and error coins can be absolute gold mines for collectors. This specific penny is unique because it was struck on the wrong planchet, meaning it was accidentally printed on a different type of metal or with a significant mistake during minting. The US Mint pumps out billions of pennies each year, but every now and then, an oopsie slips through. That's where the real money is. Collectors and investors go crazy for these mistakes because they are one of a kind, making them highly valuable. How do you know if you have this million-dollar penny? First, check the date. If it's 2013 and has no mint mark under the date, you're off to a good start. But don't get too excited just yet. The key giveaway is the weight and the metal composition. The rare version of this penny was mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a different coin, so it will have a slightly different weight than a regular penny. A regular 2013 penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but this one is heavier. A simple pocket scale can help you determine this. If it's heavier, you might be onto something huge. Another key sign is the color and texture. If it looks a little off, maybe a different sheen or not quite the same copper look, you might have a jackpot in your hands. Also, get yourself a magnifying glass and look closely at the edges. Errors can sometimes be visible in the rim or lettering. So, what do you do if you think you've got one? First, don't spend it. Don't use it to pay for a vending machine snack or toss it in your car's cup holder. Put it in a safe place and get it verified by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will authenticate your coin, and if it's the real deal, you're looking at a serious payday. Now, where can you sell it? High-value coins like this are best sold through major auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. These guys specialize in rare coins and can help you get the best price possible. And trust me, when a coin like this hits the market, collectors will be lining up, wallets in hand. So, there you have it. A simple 2013 penny could be worth $1.4 million, all because of a little minting mistake. It's proof that sometimes the little things in life are worth a second look. Next time you get change at the store, don't just shove it in your pocket. Give those pennies some love. You never know when you might be holding a fortune. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I drop new videos every week with tips on how to find valuable coins, coin collecting strategies, and all the hidden treasures you might have lying around. Don't miss out on the chance to turn pocket change into life-changing money. Alright, coin lovers, have I got a wild story for you today. Imagine this. You're at the gas station, you grab a pack of gum, you toss a few pennies on the counter, and boom, you just spent a coin worth $1.5 million. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. Now, before you start frantically digging through your couch cushions, let me tell you exactly why the 2016 no-mint mark Lincoln penny could be your golden ticket. We're talking a tiny little copper-coated coin that most people overlook every single day. But for some lucky soul, this thing was a life changer. Today, I'm breaking down the insane value of this penny, how to spot one, and why the heck it's worth a fortune. Plus, I'll throw in a personal story that proves checking your pocket change can pay off in a big way. Stick around. This is one you don't want to miss. Why is this penny worth $1.5 million? Let's rewind to 2016. The US Mint, as usual, was cranking out billions of pennies. But something odd happened. A batch of pennies was released without the usual D or P mint mark. And while that might not sound like a big deal, in the world of coin collecting, it's like finding an original Beatles record at a garage sale, rare and valuable. This wasn't just any error. It was a one-of-a-kind mistake, and only a handful of these no-mint mark 2016 pennies ever made it into circulation. And that, my friends, is where the money is. Coin collectors love a good mystery, and a rare mistake like this turns a common penny into a collector's holy grail. Now, let's talk about how to identify one. It looks like any other 2016 Lincoln penny. Same shiny copper plating, same honest Abe staring off into the distance. But the key difference? No tiny P or D under the year. If you spot one like that, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. Now, let me share a quick personal story to prove why checking your change matters. A few years ago, I was at a flea market and an older gentleman was selling random old coins from a shoebox. I figured, why not? I picked out a few pennies for a couple of bucks, tossed them in my pocket, and didn't think much of it. Fast forward a few weeks. I'm going through my collection and boom, I spot a 1992 close AM penny worth thousands. That one flea market find turned a lazy Sunday afternoon into a massive payday. Moral of the story? Always check your coins. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. Now, what's the market like for the 2016 no-mint mark penny? Well, in early 2024, one sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. And while not every one of these pennies will fetch that kind of cash, even lower-grade versions can sell for tens of thousands. Not too shabby for a coin most people toss in a tip jar. So what's the lesson here? Coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's a treasure hunt. And sometimes, the treasure is right there in your pocket, just waiting to be discovered. That if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe for more insider tips on coins worth money. I break down the latest finds, rare coin values, and smart collecting strategies that could turn your spare change into serious cash. And hey, if you've ever found a rare coin in the wild, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Who knows? Your next penny could be worth a fortune. All right, folks, grab your magnifying glasses and your old piggy banks because today we're diving into a mind-blowing discovery, one little penny that could turn you into a millionaire. That's right, we're talking about the 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, a coin that recently sold for a staggering $1.6 million. Yep, you heard me right. $1.6 million for a penny. Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions, let me walk you through why this penny is so valuable, what makes it special, and how you might just be sitting on a hidden fortune without even knowing it. And trust me, you'll want to stick around because I've got a wild personal story that proves checking your spare change can pay off big time. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1967 Lincoln penny was struck at the U.S. Mint during a time when they were experimenting with different minting processes. The key here? No mint mark. Now, most 1967 pennies without a mint mark are worth, well, a penny. But every now and then, a rare gem slips through, and that's exactly what happened with this $1 million find. So what makes this particular penny worth more than a mansion in Beverly Hills? A combination of factors: a rare minting error, its pristine condition, and collector demand. This penny has a unique double-die error, meaning the design was accidentally stamped twice, causing a slightly overlapping effect. Combine that with a perfectly preserved, shiny copper surface, and boom, you've got a coin worth more than a Lamborghini. Coin collectors are an interesting bunch. Some people collect baseball cards, some collect Beanie Babies, which, let's be honest, didn't exactly turn into a retirement plan. But coin collectors? They know where the real money is. And right now, there's a huge demand for rare error coins like this 1967 penny. Over the years, collectors have paid ridiculous sums for coins that have minor defects, missing letters, off-center strikes, or doubled images. It's kind of like those misprinted baseball cards where the player's name is spelled wrong, only this mistake is worth a whole lot more. And because there aren't many of these rare pennies out there, when one shows up in top condition, collectors will do just about anything to get their hands on it. Now, I wouldn't be telling you all this if I didn't have a little story of my own. A few years back, I was at my grandma's house, helping her clean out some old drawers. She had this huge jar of pennies, probably hadn't touched them in 30 years. I started sorting through them, just for fun, when I spotted an old wheat penny from the 1940s. I didn't think much of it at the time, but later that night, I looked it up. Turns out, that little penny was worth over $500. Now, it wasn't quite a $1 million payday, but it definitely made me look at pocket change differently from that day forward. That's why I always tell people, check your coins. That loose change in your car cup holder? That jar of pennies on your dresser? You could be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. So here's the takeaway. Don't overlook the small stuff. That 1967 no mint mark Lincoln penny proves that even the most ordinary-looking things can be hiding incredible value. And who knows? The next time you get change at the grocery store, you might just find the next $1 million coin. Now, if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you never miss a tip that could put big bucks in your pocket. And if you've ever found a valuable coin in your change, let me know in the comments. I'd love